welcome to another episode of HalfTime Roomies. It's a dark and tragic day here, as if 2020 couldn't get any worse. Liverpool have won the Premier League. Yeah, Shrav, what are your thoughts?
Um,
You're speechless.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, man, honestly, I didn't think I would be coming here to do an episode on Liverpool winning the league. I honestly just thought we were going to talk about City beating Chelsea and this having a good implication on top four for United.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. It's
Man, I feel like you've taken this personally. If you want, you can take some time off. Like, we can take a sabbatical or something from halftime roomies.
yeah, it's. I don't know, man. It's just hard to put words together, right? I mean, managers did do a good job of keeping these rat bastards away from the title for 30 years. But the fucking moment Fraudiola stepped in, all he had to do was not let Liverpool win the league. But he didn't have Messi. So, I mean, when he doesn't have Messi, he doesn't win much. That's also another thing. But
Yeah, but I'll be the voice of reason on this panel today, and I will say, well, I'm not gonna congratulate Liverpool, for sure,
they don't
but
deserve it.
well, I think they deserve it. I think they definitely deserved it. I think it is one of, like, I know we'll disagree on this, but it is one of the best Premier League teams ever, and to have won it in historic fashion like this, nobody has won it this early on, and I think that's testament to the players and Klopp as well. But that's about all I'm going to say. But moving past that, where do you think it went wrong for City today?
It's hard to say because, I mean, they did well in the first half. They did dominate. Even Chelsea, though they took the lead, City were clearly in the driver's seat for a long while. Came back and equalized. I think Sterling hit the post right after that. I think just a couple of minutes later, after scoring. And I thought City would just put the game to bed. But Chelsea, I think they played very well in the second half. They took the lead back. And with Fernandinho gone, I think the game was done. It was Chelsea just kept taking the pressure and just kept hitting back on the counter.
Yeah, I think that is definitely a weakness for City,
Yeah.
right? They've, like, time and time again this entire season, they've been proven to be very weak on the counter. United had a very good performance against them,
Yeah.
just playing the exact same way, just sitting back, taking all the pressure, and then hitting them at the counter. And I think the exact same thing happened today against Chelsea too.
I guess like not having company, of course, because he just had that positional sense. Laporte is gone, and Fernandinho, he's 35 years old. He's not
Yeah, it's
the
not
same
the
guy
same.
he was a few years ago. Yeah, I think City will need some reinforcements in the off season. I think every team does need reinforcements in the off season, but Liverpool look like the strongest team so far. I think by adding maybe another center midfielder, I think they're good enough to again challenge for the league again next year. The silver lining though is that they didn't win any other
Yeah.
cup this year. So
Yeah, and I think that would be the defense against them being the single greatest Premier League team ever. Is at least that they haven't won any other trophies while winning this one.
yeah, I mean they're still not the greatest Premier League team ever, right? I mean there's still quite a few teams above them.
Yeah,
I mean
I
the
think
Arsenal Invincibles are right up there.
the United
The
treble winning.
treble winners right up there. So they won it, but it wasn't good enough.
Okay, so what do you think about Chelsea though? Like, how do you think this sets them up for top four?
I think Chelsea I think will finish in the top four. Uh, I think Leicester might drop points though because they have a tough run coming up. If Leicester, I mean, I think they're playing Liverpool. They play, if I'm not wrong, they play City as well, and Arsenal, Spurs. I guess they're also playing us in
And
the
they
last
play
game of
United,
the
I
season.
think, in the last game. Yeah.
So there's a chance that Leicester might actually, drop out of the top four. But at this point, is it the top four or is it the top five? Because if City aren't playing the next season in the Champions League, I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as you finish fifth, right?
So yeah, so Chelsea also play Leicester next, so
Yeah,
that's an important one I think for United.
yeah.
Um,
That's a draw that we should hope for.
yeah, I think that would be the
Hmm.
best case for United. But I think Chelsea did put in a very good performance, and
Oh yeah.
honestly, I've been very impressed with Chelsea this entire season.
Hmm.
The fact that they had the transfer ban and like Lampard just kind of he had to make do with
Yeah.
a lot of like younger players. He's really gotten the best out of them. So I've been definitely very impressed. And if Chelsea make top four again, I think I would be deserved.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Chelsea make top four, they definitely deserve that spot because they've done it without transfers, they've done it without spending money. And I think next season they've set up pretty well. They have Zia coming in, they have Werner coming
Werner
in, they
coming
have
in.
Pulisic already.
Yeah.
They're building a solid team. They have quite a few youngsters as well. So Chelsea could be contenders for the next couple of seasons the way they're building up.
Yeah.
Um,
And what do you think about United's performance yesterday?
I mean, it was a good performance. Again, I mean, we did slate Martial.
Yeah, I guess we have to
In
eat shit
the
for that now.
I mean, not necessarily because the problem is with Martial is that he's again going to become inconsistent for the next 3 games. One game does not salvage an entire like the career, right? Like,
This is what I've been telling people on the Facebook groups, man.
yeah, like I mean, see,
Because they called me out on it immediately after Martial puts in that hat trick. They were like, "Oh, what do you think about that post now, mate?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe, yeah, like I think sure, like I'll take it back. It was a very
yeah.
good performance
Oh
from
yeah,
Martial,
definitely,
but I think when Martial's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's extremely lazy.
yeah.
Like those performances don't come through like consistently enough, and I think that's the problem.
The problem with Martial not scoring or not assisting in every game or every second game is that apart from that, he doesn't contribute much. He doesn't track back. He doesn't go back and defend the way Rooney used to do it or the way other strikers do it. He doesn't track back, which is his problem. So if he's on the field and he's not playing well, you basically have 10 players playing on the pitch that day. But I mean, the hat trick was beautiful. It was good to see finally a hat trick by a United guy, 7 years after Van Persie's
Yeah, exactly.
title-winning hat
I
trick.
didn't think it had been that long.
I kept thinking
Yeah.
all this while
It's
that
like someone's
yeah,
definitely
like
scored a hat
maybe
trick in
Rooney or
between.
Kagawa, somebody has had that hat trick in between. But
No, man, but I think that's just like how used to United's poor performances we've gotten.
yeah,
We've gotten numb to it now. But what I did enjoy was Greenwood starting, though. I
yeah,
think that was a refreshing change of pace for United, like
yeah,
having Greenwood instead of Daniel James.
hmm
And I think like they just put the game to rest like very early on, completely dominated. And then we also saw for the first time in history ever 5 substitutions. All
yeah,
of them came on at one time.
yeah. Um, I feel like Matic, even though he doesn't have the legs anymore, I think he makes up with whatever he lacks in speed with his positional
Oh, for sure.
positional sense. Um, but did you enjoy having Fernandes and Bruno start? Fernandes
And Pogba.
Pogba
Oh
start.
my God, that was fucking incredible, man.
Yeah, it was. Like I feel like there's something still missing in that midfield. Maybe it was just probably a lack of the flair on wings. But I mean, you can see that he's building the team up well. You can see we have the players we need for next season. We still probably need 3 or 4 signings, definitely.
For sure. But I think like having both of them start though, like there was definitely like a different
Yeah.
element to United's game that was missing throughout. And I think you could see that in how dominant United
Yeah.
were in midfield. We barely
Yeah.
gave the ball away. Pogba and Fernandes both tracked back. They got the ball back as well. The way they were distributing the ball was just incredible. So like a lot of good like signs, a lot of positives for United coming out of this game.
Yeah. I really want to see how they actually end up playing against teams like Leicester and like the other guys, the other 7 games that we have. I'm not able to recall which other big like top 6, top 7 team we're playing from here on, but I really want to see a combo of Pogba, Fernandes, and Mixos.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so when we're going to have the Champions League starting soon again, right? So,
Yeah.
what are your predictions for the Champions League?
So I think 4 teams are through already. I think Atlanta, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund, and I think it was PSG. I think are through. I think 4 teams are through. City actually might end up winning the tie against Madrid because they have
Madrid,
a
yeah.
2-1 away lead. I think Bayern's already won their tie because they have a 3-0 lead over Chelsea, so that'll be very hard to overcome, especially the form they're in. I think they're co-favorites with City to win the Champions League. And I think, you know what, I mean, 2020 can only get worse from here on. I mean,
That's
City
true, man.
City can win the Champions League. Yeah.
If City win the Champions League and Liverpool have now won the Premier League, 2020 will officially be the worst year on record.
I mean, not that 2019 wasn't bad because City won the league and Liverpool won the Champions League.
Or 2018, or 2017, or
Anything
going
after-
all the way
yeah,
back
it's
to
the last
2013. None of them have been good years, man.
Yeah.
But I think positives for United though. I'm curious to see what United will kind of do to set themselves.
Yeah.
Like, well, will they be title contenders for next season?
I don't
'Cause-
think Talcon is though, man. It depends on the signings because you know what, we still have 3 or 4 key positions to fill up, and Oli has shown time again that he still lacks that effective tactics against smaller clubs. Because the problem is that we drop a lot of points against the smaller clubs.
Yeah.
And that is where you should actually be earning your bread and butter. That's where you should be bulking up on points, and that's where we've not been good enough for a while now. I think we'll definitely be top 4 contenders next season, depending on the signings that we make. But I don't see us winning the league next year. I think it'll still be a City Liverpool two horse race.
So there we have it. We have gloomy predictions for the next season. We're not gonna say congratulations to Liverpool because fuck you guys.
Fuck Liverpool.
And
Fuck all those ratting bastards.
and that's all for today's episode of Halftime Roomies. We'll catch you on the next episode.